This is Thelma FM, and you are listening to Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard. And today is not all 78 records. It is still a trawl through lesser played and forgotten artists and songs. But we start off with vinyl, and we start off with the fabulous, the marvellous, the magnificent Eartha Kitt from the 1956 album That Bad Eartha. And we start off with I Want to Be Evil.
I've posed for pictures with ivory soap. I've petted stray dogs and shied clear of dope. My smile is brilliant. My glance is tender. But I'm noted most for my unspoiled gender. I've been made Miss Rheingold, though I never touch beer. And I'm the person to whom they say, "You're sweet, my dear." The only etchings I've seen have been behind glass, and the closest I've been to a bar was at ballet class. Prim and proper, the girl who's never been cased. Well, I'm tired of being pure and not chaste, like something that seeks its level. I wanna go to the devil. I wanna tell lies. I wanna be mean and throw mud pies. I want to wake up in the morning with that dark brown taste. I wanna see some dissipation in my face. I wanna be evil. I wanna be mad. But more than that, I wanna be bad. I wanna be evil and trump an ace, just to see my partner's face. I wanna be nasty, I wanna be cruel, I wanna be daring, I wanna shoot pool. And in the theater, I want to change my seat, just so I can step on everybody's feet. I wanna be evil, I wanna hurt for lies, I wanna sing songs like the guy who cries. I wanna be horrid, I wanna drink booze, and whatever I've got, I am eager to lose. I wanna be evil, little evil me, just as mean and evil as I can be.
What a start. The marvellous Eartha Kitt there. We are in Britain. It's Black Friday, which is when we have lots of sale offers on just to get us to spend more money, of course. But we're having a Black Friday here on Forgotten Songs because you're getting two for the price of one with Eartha there. I'm flipping the side over here. As I say, this is from the 1956 LP, That Bad Eartha. On it is a fantastic selection of songs. She sings in French, Spanish, and quite amazingly, I don't know of another major artist that has actually produced a song in Turkish. This is a Turkish ballad, Uska Aska Dara. Again, Eartha, and absolutely wonderful orchestration. I should mention Henri René, who really backs up her voice superbly. Anyway, let's listen to a bit of Turkish.
giderken aldı da bir yağmur. Üsküdar'a giderken aldı da bir yağmur. Katibimin satırızı uzun eteği çamur. Katibimin satırızı uzun eteği çamur. Katip uykudan uyanmış gözleri mahmur. Katip uykudan uyanmış gözleri mahmur. Katibin bin katibin el karışır. Katibim satır palto ne güzel yaraşır.
Üsküdar is a little town in Turkey, and in the old days many women had male secretaries. Oh well, that's Turkey.
Üsküdar'a giderken bir mendil buldum. Üsküdar'a giderken bir mendil buldum. Mendelemen içine de lokum doldurdum. Mendelemen içine de lokum doldurdum.
They take a trip from Üsküdar in the rain, and on the way they fall in love. He's wearing a stiff collar and a full dress suit. She looks at him longingly through her veil and casually feeds him candy. Oh, those Turks.
Katibimi ararken yanımda buldum. Katibimi ararken andımda buldum. Katibenim bin katibin el karışır. Katibim köleli gömlek ne güzel yaraşır. Katibimi ararken yanımda buldum. Katibimi ararken yanımda buldum. Katibimin bin katibin el karışır. Katibim köleli gömlek ne güzel yaraşır. Katibim köleli gömlek ne güzel yaraşır.
Well, I know Eartha Kitt is hardly a forgotten artist, but you tell me, when did you last hear that record on the radio? That was Üsküdar, Turkish ballad. I hadn't realised that she did some speaking in that. That was absolutely fabulous. You are listening to Thelma FM. This is the programme, the hour-long programme, Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard, where we trail through our collection of largely 78s. We are now moving to 78s, but also vinyl and 45s as well, just to try and find songs and artists that you may not have heard of before, or you haven't heard of for a long time. So we are moving on now to Freddy Randall and his band. Now, Freddy Randall was a trumpeter. He was one of three main revivalist British jazz bands after the war in the 50s, who were led by trumpeters. The other two were Humphrey Lyttelton and Mick Mulligan. Freddy Randall was always reckoned to be the best musician, and I think we can hear it on this track here, which is Dark Knight Blues, I believe. Nothing to do with Batman, but it's certainly a cracking bit of trumpet. Let's have a listen to Freddy Randall. Oh yes, I'm liking that. That was Freddy Randall and his band from 1952, and it was Dark Night Blues. Great title. Far from being this image of the laid-back jazz leader or band leader, I think Freddy Randall had a bit of a reputation as being slightly kind of uptight and paranoid. There is a legend, and you can read this if you go search on him on Google, of how he actually paid. He asked one of his members of his band if he gave him a raise of £1, would he keep his ears open if there was any gossip or anyone was saying anything bad about him, which he did. Only this member of the band obviously mentioned it to the other members of the band, and they'd all been given a raise of £1 to keep an eye on what they were saying. So there we are. Not as laid back as that track may suggest. Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard is on 11 a.m. live, as we are this morning. It's repeated at 4 p.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. Thelma FM is the broadcasting arm of the Living Memory Association, and we are based here in Edinburgh at the Little Shop of Memory at Ocean Terminal, where we have a hands-on museum which is open 7 days a week, 10:30 till 4 weekdays and 11 till 4 at weekends. Let's get on with the music. Next we have the fabulously named Jean-Baptiste Illinois Jacquet or Jacquet, saxophonist and pioneer of the honking sax, first played on a Lionel Hampton track called Flying Home. This is his own band, and this is entitled King Jacquet. And I think that was decidedly honking sax there. That's woken everyone up, isn't it? From the dulcet tones of Eartha Kitt to the frantic and frenetic of Illinois Jacquet or Jacquet and his orchestra from 1947. Now, he was not only a great saxophonist and band leader, but he was also an activist, and he fought very much against the Jim Crow laws, which were the segregation. And he was famously arrested in the interval at the, I'm just trying to look at Huston Music Hall. He was arrested and put into a police van and taken to the police station. In the van with him was Ella Fitzgerald and Dizzy Gillespie. How about that for a van full of talent? It was a bit of a setup because apparently when they got to the police station there was a bunch of photographers there, and then they were taken back to the music hall and they played the second half of the show. Right, up next we're getting a little bit more laid back. This is Chicago Blues, and it's Bill Snyder and his orchestra. As I say, it's a little bit slower so we can relax a bit. I thought that was good. That's certainly very laid back. That was Bill Snyder and his orchestra, Chicago Blues. Bill Snyder was one of the most popular light music pianists in the 1950s. Yeah, very good. I like that. Now, next up is Roy Fox and his band and somebody has done some really nice research. I picked up some records from an Oxfam shop, and they've actually written on the record label some of the research. So I can tell you that it was recorded live at the Monsignor restaurant in London on the 4th of February 1932. We're going to listen to Adios, which is a rumba. Now, the Roy Fox band, amongst them, their vocalist was Al Bowley, and one of the musicians was Nat Gonella. So a pretty good pedigree. But let's listen and see if we can pick out Al Bowley's voice. Adios. No, I'm not going. That was Adios, and it was a rumba by Roy Fox and his orchestra. Somewhere, I think, there at the beginning, I suspect that was Al Bowley on vocals. Roy Fox, I believe at some point, probably not soon after this, lost the contract for the Monsignor restaurants. Restaurants and these hotels had their own dance bands, and it was quite a lucrative place to be playing every night. He lost that, and the band that took over from him, I can't recall, wanted Al Bowley. I think there was some argument over contracts. Anyway, you will notice that some of our records, I'm playing them directly from a record deck. There's no digital cleanup here, so you will notice that some of them are rather scratchy. This next one certainly is. This is Len Fillis and Sid Bright, and it's a banjo. So Len Fillis played guitar and banjo on an awful lot of dance bands between the wars, but he also produced his own records and usually was accompanied by Sid Bright. So bear with this. If this becomes too scratchy, we will finish. But 1928, it's entitled to be a little scratched. There we are. That was Len Fillis and Sid Bright, Butterfingers, which actually, ironically, I nearly dropped on the floor. Say from 1928. I suppose if you're 91 years old, you're entitled to be a little scratch, but it just shows how forgiving 78s are, because that was very scratch, but that wasn't too bad at all. You're listening to Thelma FM. This is Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard. As I said at the beginning, the Thelma FM is the broadcasting arm of the Living Memory Association. If you want to look up what we do, we have an excellent website, www.livingmemory.org.uk. We have a good Facebook page under Living Memory Association, or specific to this radio station, Thelma FM. You can listen to us via the radio app on our homepage of our website, or on Alexa. Just go to your Alexa app, open Skills, search for Thelma FM, and then you'll be able to tell Alexa to play Thelma FM from there on. Now, I do like to have some cheesy records, and this is the Coronets. Now, this isn't the Coronets, the black bebop vocal group from the 1950s. This is a good deal more cheesier. The Coronets were a vocal as well. They had amongst them, let me have a look at my notes here. You've got them written. If you came into the studio, you would see an incredible scroll written on the wall here. Mike Sam was one of the members of the Coronets. Mike Sam went on to do a lot of this type of music in the 60s and 70s on British Radio 2. Anyway, let's have a listen. 20 tiny fingers, 20 tiny toes.
Pop, 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 pop. She put on the light in the middle of the night and whispered, "Dear, let's go." I grabbed a sock and called the doc. He told me go. I got up there with time to spare, and then I sat on pins until a doctor shook my hand and told me you've got twins. 20 tiny fingers, 20 tiny toes, 2 angel faces, each with a turned up nose. One looks like mommy with a cute little curl on top, and the other one's got a big bald spot exactly like his pop. Pop, 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 pop. We've got cribs and bottles and bits all round our 3-room flat. No time to see what's on TV, no room to hang my hat. We're on the run, we're never done, it's like a steeplechase. They came in and they took over like they own the place. 20 tiny fingers, 20 tiny toes, 2 angel faces, each with a turned up nose. One looks like mommy with a cute little curl on top, and the other one's got a big bald spot exactly like his pop. Pop, 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 pop. Twice the laundry, twice the milk, twice the baby clothes. Double this and double that, oh how the money goes. But Bob and me, we both agree when all is said and done, we've got twice the blessings and we've got twice the fun. 20 tiny fingers, 20 tiny toes, 2 angel faces, each with a turned up nose. One looks like mommy with a cute little curl on top, and the other one's got a big bald spot exactly like his pop. Pop, 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 pop.
There we are. Wasn't that innocuous and pleasant? The other person in, excuse me, was in the coronets was Steve Race. Now, if you, as I say, if you listen to the Radio 2 in the 60s and 70s, the Mike Sam singers would, I think they were on a Sunday night, and they would take popular hits from the time and turn them into that nice vocal arrangement. I was always waiting for them to turn up with the Sex Pistols, but sadly they never did an interpretation of that. We move on with our slightly cheesy 3 here. Eddie Arnold. Now, Eddie Arnold he had a long career as well. Country, started off in country. He and Jim Reeves are sometimes criticised but praised for making country a little more, shall we say, popular and using a lot of orchestration. This is Prison Without Walls.
I don't need chains or iron bars to tell me I'm not free. I'm in a prison without any walls. I'm living in the memory of a love that used to be. Here in a prison without any walls. I come and go, but still I know I'll never break away. For deep inside my heart is tied to dreams of yesterday. Till you bring back your love, sweetheart, there's no escape for me. I'm in a prison without any walls. Close the door with your goodbye that tells me night and day I'm in a prison without any walls. Could loving you be such a crime that I should have to stay here in a prison without any walls? I tell myself I won't be blue, I'll find another love. But when I look at someone else, it's you I'm thinking of. Come back, sweetheart, and break these ties. I can't go on this way. I'm in a prison without any walls.
Oh, goodness me, caught on the wires there. Oh dear, that's not very professional, is it? Now, I think if you're going to do cheesy or sentimental, I think this is the way to go. This is Walter Huston, the actor. Originally, this was, I think this is a reissue, but originally 1938, and it's his original. This song, September Song, was actually written for Walter Huston. This is the way to do it.
When I was a young man courting the girl, I played me a waiting game. If a maid refused me with tossing curls, I'd let the old earth take a couple of whirls, while I plied her with tears in place of pearls. And as time came around, she came my way. As time came around, she came. But it's a long, long while from May to December, and the days grow short when you reach September, and the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame, and I haven't got time for the waiting game. And the days turn to gold as they grow few. September, November, and these few golden days I'd share with you. These golden days I'd share with you. And the wine dwindles down to a precious brew. September, November, and these few vintage years I'd share with you. These vintage years I'd share with you.
You see, that's good, isn't it? Even though the Walter Huston doesn't really have a singing voice. Interesting history to that song. As I say, it was written specifically for him, and it's from a 1938 Broadway musical called Knickerbocker Holiday, which apparently was a bit of a critique or satire on the New Deal, Roosevelt's New Deal. And it was, the composers are Weill and Anderson. Yes, that is Kurt Weill. And it was written specifically for his gruff voice and limited range. Now, Walter Huston was an actor. His most famous film was probably The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which was directed by John Huston, who was his son, and starred Humphrey Bogart. But I think that's definitely a good one to be playing in that cheesy trio. I forgot to line up my next record. I'm becoming very unprofessional. You are listening to Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard. Now, I don't know if this might be a little bit scratchy as well. This is the Raymond Dance Band, who were, and I'm very indebted once again to the person who wrote the sleeve notes on these Oxfam records. This is from 1926. Now, it's a Regal record label, and they used to reissue American Columbia records. So the Raymond Dance Band were actually a pseudonym, and there's some dubiety about exactly who the band were, but I can tell you this is Prisoner's Song, and the vocals on here are by Ross Gossman. So let's see how crackly this one is. I think all things considered, considering that was 1926, and actually the record's not in a terribly good state, that was pretty good, wasn't it? The Prisoner's Song, not quite sure what sort of prison he was in, but lovely bit of 1920s vocals there. Next up, there were so many dance bands in between the wars, particularly both in the US and in Britain. This is Hal McIntyre, who was a band leader, sax player, clarinet, composer. Sadly, he didn't live to a very ripe age. He died in a house fire or flat fire in the late 50s. If you look up, if you're a fan of Mad Men, look up Hal McIntyre and tell me who he reminds you of from that programme. He does look an awfully like Pete Campbell, if you watch that. But anyway, this is, what's this, South Bayou... I'm trying to look at my list here. There we are, South Bayou Shuffle, and it is from February 15th, 1942, and it was recorded in New York. Wow, what a spacey, trippy record that was. That was Hal McIntyre with South Bayou Shuffle. And it really was a shuffle, wasn't it? I'm quite spaced out by that. Right, we're going to bring up the tempo a bit now, and I think this is my record of the day. This is a £2.49 it cost me, and it's Tiny Bradshaw, who was born Myron Colton Bradshaw. I presume he was probably called Tiny because he wasn't. Sadly, he died when he was 48. He was a rhythm and blues band leader, singer, composer, pianist and drummer, and very important in the development of rock and roll. His most famous record was The Train Kept On Rolling, which was covered latterly by the Yardbirds and Aerosmith. Sadly, he had health problems, especially latter of his life. But let's listen to him, because this one here is Walking the Chalk Line. I love the start of this. It's very sassy. It's quite naughty. This is a great one. Then we're going to have in the middle, I might play these back to back. In the middle, we're going to have Bill Haley and Two Hounds, the Two Hounds being rhythm and blues. So it all fits in. And then we'll go straight to my favourite, Bradshaw's Boogie, which mentions bunions. Anyway, let's listen to Tiny.
Baby, baby called me in, drew a line on the floor, said the things you used to do, you ain't gonna do them no more. So I'm walking the chalk line, trying with all my might. I'm walking the chalk line, trying with all my might. 'Cause I love my baby darling, trying to do things right. She says to walk, walk, walk that chalk line, 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 walk that chalk line. Got to treat my baby right. It's a straight and narrow path, and I got a long way to go. Got to please my baby darling, 'cause I love her so. Well, say she laid down the law, said I had to do right. Got to walk the chalk line day and night, and I'm walking the chalk line, walking both day and night. And I'm walking the chalk line, trying to treat my baby right. Well, I used to go out about every night, but now I stay at home 'cause it just ain't right. And I'm walking the chalk line, walking the chalk line, walking the chalk line, trying to treat my baby right. Walk that chalk line, walk, walk, walk that chalk line, walk, walk, walk that chalk line, walk, walk, walk that chalk line, walk that chalk line. Got to treat my baby right.
They call them rhythm and blues. Two dogs named Rhythm and Blue. Romping old Rhythm and Blue. Rocking old Rhythm and Blue. Crazy old Rhythm and Blues. Rhythm and Blues was their name. Yeah, Rhythm and Blues was their name. Well, they romp and stomp and rock and roll. You can't stop them to save your soul. Rhythm and Blues was their name. Two hound dogs sitting on a stump, digging that music, they started to jump. They can't dance, well, they ain't got no shoes. Two old dogs named Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! They call them Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Two dogs named Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Romping old Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Rocking old Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Crazy old Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Hound dogs! Hound dogs! Hound dogs! Rabbit crossed the road, rocking and a-rolling like a crazy toad. Rhythm said, Blues, I'll match you ace. We'll run that rabbit all over the place. Hound dogs! They call them Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Two dogs named Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Romping old Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Rocking old Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Crazy old Rhythm and Blues. Hound dogs! Hound dogs! Hound dogs! Hound dogs!
Two Hounds from Bill Haley, which is about rhythm and blues, and we have a master of rhythm and blues. I'm going to leave you with Tiny Bradshaw and his trio with the magnificently, this is my record, my 78 of the day. This is Bradshaw's Boogie. Listen out for the bunions. It's very suggestive, I think, and therefore a good one to end on. Thank you very much for listening. Forgotten Songs from the Broom Cupboard.
Well, I got a gal, she's mighty sweet. Won't make no love till she hears that beat of the Bradshaw Boogie. Yes, the Bradshaw Boogie. She does the boogie woogie like nobody else can do. She's got bunions on her feet, but that don't mean a thing when she hears that beat of the Bradshaw Boogie. Yes, the Bradshaw Boogie. She does the boogie woogie like nobody else can do. Blow! She bounces up and down like a water pump to the Bradshaw Boogie. Yes, the Bradshaw Boogie. She does the boogie woogie like nobody else can do. Don't say a thing till that band starts right out to swing to the Bradshaw Boogie. Yes, the Bradshaw Boogie. She does the boogie woogie like no other